Tell me, how easy is it for son of a Maheshwari family earning less than 7,000 rupees a month in a very small town become a chartered accountant? How easy is it?
Probably the easiest, because I'll tell you, CA is the cheapest course available.
So the reason why Girish can answer that is that he comes from a background in a place. कितने लोग थे?
100 families.
So he comes from a place with 100 families and decided to do his CA because it was the cheapest course available.
उसने अगर बीच में छूट गया तो आर्टिकलशिप के बाद में आपको अकाउंटेंट की नौकरी तो मिल जाए.
How far was this place from Pune?
No, it was 50 kilometers from Nagpur.
Okay, so it was 50 kilometers.
On the borders of Maharashtra and MP, because they have some tax set-offs in MP, so it has to just to be in MP. So वैसा वाला था, and it was a place in mid of jungle, so क्योंकि वहाँ पे कोई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं था तो कंपनी वालों को कंपल्सरी था कि वहीं स्कूल बना देनी चाहिए कि बच्चे जाएंगे कहाँ पढ़ने के लिए. फॉर्चुनेटली वो स्कूल CBSE निकला, तो ब्लेसिंग इन डिसगाइज.
How important is it to know English?
You should be able to speak well in English and then say that English is not important. You know, as long as you can, as long as you are conversant in English, उसको बात में बोले तो ठीक है. It's a foreign language, is nothing to be proud of. पर आपको आनी चाहिए पहले बोलने के. नहीं तो फिर कई जगह काम रुक जाता है या फिर इतना इंप्रेशन नहीं बन पाता जितना अदरवाइज पढ़ना चाहिए. People judge. वो जो अपनी मेंटालिटी है, कॉलोनियल मेंटालिटी, वो अभी तक सर से गई नहीं है. तो इंग्लिश अभी भी इम्पोर्टेंट तो है.
How easy or difficult is it to say that, boss, I want to go and work with the best firm that I aspire for? What your knowledge that time is defines best, right? I'm at a different place, I'll have a different best. आप मेरे से ऊपर हो तो आपका highest level will be different, right? How easy or difficult is it to go and meet somebody and get a job in the place that you aspire for?
It's about planning. It's about having that vision that, you know, I need to do this. If you have the plan set and you're consistently working on it for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So if you have the plan, then it's very easy. The decisions are, you know, you have to just relate whether it falls in line with my plan or not. The priorities are set simple.
So boss, problem in cities is that लोगों को लगता है कि attitude is everything. The real answer which Parag started and which he collaborates is it's all about planning. It's all about small steps every month. When you go in a different culture, your aspiration is not in the same culture, right? आप अलग culture में जाते हो कोई because you are aspiring. You go there, what do you seek? Why do you aspire for something? What is the objective when you aspire? So you do all the planning to reach there. Let me ask Girish. Girish, how should you behave when you reach your aspirational?
Reaching an aspiration is just another step for another aspiration to be born. So you never reach your aspirations. Like आप सोचते हो कि मेरे को यहाँ पहुँचना है. At some point of time, I would have been very satisfied reaching half where I've reached. So journey never ends. So I believe you should be at peace in wherever you are, in the sense that you should be very comfortable and happy doing what you want. So you should be at peace. At the same time, you should have that hunger also to grow to the next level. So if you have that kind of balance कि न शांत बैठता है पर न उधम मचाता है, दोनों के बीच में वाला अगर पोजीशन है तो it's just a journey, because आप जहाँ पहुँचते हैं वहाँ से फिर आप सोचते हो आगे क्या करना है, what can be done more. So that has been my philosophy.
But he was very lucky because he had a mentor in Ashish Khandelwal who believed that people from smaller towns needed to be given an opportunity. He believed in that, and the platform that they are trying to create is as much for people in the cities, because the problem today in the cities is the confidence levels are low and nobody is doing anything for them. So the idea is to create this platform, so if you are stuck in a place where the mentor is not good, here is another platform where you'll get good mentors. You know, I think Ashish was a phenomenal mentor. Anything about your interaction because of Ashish?
No, I'll give some another example, and which is a very interesting example, and I just wanted to use this example whenever I got an opportunity. So talking about mentoring, so my first interaction with Rahul bhai was I just texted him something, and then I realized that he is Rahul Rathi from Puranartha. So I texted him, I want to call and I want to fight with you. So that was our first interaction. I called him and I said कि यार आप ना हर जगह डेट खराब है ऐसा बोलते रहते हो, वो मेरी रोजी रोटी है, आप ऐसे क्या करते हो, मेरा पूरा बिजनेस डेट पे चलता है. So आप ऐसे क्यों बोलते हैं? Then we had 45 minutes of intellectual academic discussion, and I could manage to convince him कि not all debts are bad, sustainable long-term debts are good. मेरा ठीक है चला कुछ तो victory मिली.
So what he said was right, that once you reach a certain level, your aspirations increase. I think a reasonable role is also played by the mentor in that environment. And if it's not there, you move environments. You know, how many people work in a mentor who's great and decide that you don't want to be like him? How many people can do that? What was your thought process when you completed your CA and decided not to be a practicing chartered accountant?
So I was working with Khandelwal Jain, and I've taken my exam leaves for CA final, and during the study I studied the syllabus of finance, and I was very much in love with the subject. मैंने बोला यार करना तो इसी में है करके काम, बाकी कुछ अपने को वैसे भी समझ में नहीं आता. I did good amount of work in audits, I did good amount of work in taxation, transfer pricing, IFRS implementation. So I did traditional law of work, good at that time. But when I came from my CA final exam, I immediately went and I said to Ashish sir कि सर अब मेरे को finance को छोड़कर और कोई काम नहीं करना है. तो he said कि चलो ऊपर जाके बैठ जाओ, अपने पास में कोई finance का काम है नहीं. And 1 week I was benched. There was no finance work in the firm. And fortunately at that time, firm got a outsourced finance work where we had to prepare projections and all. And Ashish sir मेरे को बुला के बोलते देख तेरी किस्मत खुल गई, अपने पास में finance का काम है, you can work on it and do your best. So mentoring at every stage, is very important. I do not believe that you can learn finance by not practicing. It is not knowledge, it is a skill. It's a mindset. And to learn that mindset, mentoring is something, that is very, very critical. Unless you're adding value to the business on the revenue side, don't call yourself finance. मैं वो benchmark बोलूँगा. आप अगर cost center हो तो आप finance के person नहीं हो. आप अगर revenue center को drive कर रहे हो तो then you are finance person. That is a simple litmus test that I would like to apply. And learning that skill, you need a mentor because somebody has to guide you and mold you in terms of how you have to think.
Right. So moving on from there, once you said you wanted to do finance, what was the next step?
So I did that assignment for a year, for a month or two. Then I had that idea कि यार अभी तो बैंक में जाके internship करनी चाहिए. अगर आपको finance में काम करना है तो you have to work in a financial institution. And the toughest city to work and where you should work in your formative stage is Mumbai because there are a lot of struggles over there. CA हो चुका था तो वो tension नहीं था कि degree मिलेगी कि नहीं मिलेगी. And then I went to do my industrial training at Citibank. Citibank में I worked well. I worked very hard during my internship. So I got absorbed. They absorbed me as a assistant manager in treasury, foreign exchange. And that was also part related to finance, so I was very happy. I worked there for 9 months and then I quit Citi at the peak of subprime crisis. So 2009 I'm speaking. And within 9 months, the same thought process that I thought, ये इतना सारा पैसा रोज मिलना चालू हो जाएगा क्योंकि उसके पहले कभी पैसा देखा नहीं था. तो मैंने बोला यार आदत पड़ जाएगी, फिर कुछ हो नहीं पाएगा, अपनी टप्पी छोटी रहेगी पर चाय की केटली भी मैंने खरीदी रहेगी, स्टोव भी मैंने खरीदा रहेगा. नेवर हैड दैट आइडिया कि यार वो कॉर्पोरेट एम्प्लॉय बनने का. ऑलवेज हैड दैट आइडिया कि खुद का कुछ करने का और इसके पहले की आदत पड़ जाए पैसे की. लीव दैट.
एंड देन यू स्टार्टेड ऑन योर ओन.
Yeah, I came back to Pune because I could not go to Nagpur because Nagpur के भी तो थे नहीं ऐसा as such. Pune में at least there were few people who were friends who knew us. Came back to Pune, started with teaching. I used to teach at Ujjwal Academy, a prestige point. I taught few batches of CAs. I started my own CFP, Certified Financial Planning wala coaching. Idea was very clear that I will not do anything which is not related to finance. If it is a finance, I'll teach. Because that academic knowledge today helps me when I'm doing my practical experience. I can understand everything, to that level. क्योंकि पढ़ाने के पहले बहुत पढ़ाई की थी, तो वो काम आ गई.
And then he started Prachay and other things. But what is the one thing that's common in his life story till Prachay? Right? Struggle. But ability to struggle at every 1 year, 2 years, How do you do that? Ki aaj, willpower. What's your answer?
You can't relate anyone this thing. For a struggle, I would like to comment that when you enjoy the struggle, you don't feel the struggle. I never felt that I was ever poor in my life. जब जरूरत पड़े तब वो मिल जाता था. So I never felt struggle, honestly.
I think the most important part of his life was he took decisions. If you don't take a decision, it doesn't matter. The problem today with a lot of our education system is that it tells you not to take decisions. And one of the things that I love about this platform is it encourages you to take decisions. See, I'll tell you the big thing that Girish had, and I'm sure he can also collaborate. Matlab, we have enough stalwarts out there. Girish came from a small place and he knew that he could be responsible for his own decisions. So उनको decision लेने में इतनी तकलीफ नहीं हुई जितनी आपको होने वाली है, because you have too many people saying that मेरे दोस्त क्या कहेंगे, ये क्या कहेगा, वो क्या कहेगा. And the problem today is success depends on taking decisions. Right or wrong doesn't matter. Taking a decision is far, far more important than not taking one. I can't tell you that the difference in success and failure is decision making. You want to add or subtract or?
Decision making is definitely very, very critical, and you have to be a very fast decision maker. I have this bad habit that whenever I have some time, I start playing chess online, and that too I play 3 minutes wala chess, which is like express, like fast, and I am addicted to it. वाइफ को लिटरली डिलीट कराना पड़ता है ऐप, मतलब वी नेगोशिएट कि अब तो ये 1 महीना नहीं करेगा, 2 महीना नहीं करेगा. सो शी सेज मी कि तेरे को क्या मजा आता है शांति से बैठा कर थोड़ी देर. मैंने बोला 3 मिनट में इतने सारे डिसीजंस लेने पड़ते हैं ना, ब्रेन ट्रेन हो जाता है, फिर बाद में बड़ा रिलैक्स लगता है जब रेगुलर इसमें डिसीजंस लेने पड़ते हैं. सो यू हैव टू टेक डिसीजन मेकिंग हैज टू बी क्विक, it has to be balanced. You should first know your priorities, what is important to you, and that actually makes the decision making process very clear. People are mostly not clear about what they want or how they should behave or what are the factors on which the decision would be judged, and then they get confused. So to have a very fast and efficient decision making, you have to be having that clarity of right and wrong. That is very important. And definitely, not having any expectations, any benchmark was a biggest bliss. कि आपको पता ही नहीं ना कि आप कहाँ पर ले जाके जज किए जाओगे कि सक्सेसफुल है कि नहीं है. So that independence of taking any decision and then क्या होएगा जैसा वापस नौकरी में ही जाना है ना सिटी बैंक छोड़ के, थोड़ा सा बुरा लगेगा but ठीक है.
Great. Okay, this was the easier part. Okay, now let's move to a little more tougher. You're okay with increasing the intensity, right? Yeah. All right. Did you get married after quitting city or before?
I got married after quitting city, and my wife belonged to a very affluent, politically well-settled family, very big name in their area, and I was from a nuclear family. It was very difficult for them to marry off their daughter to a small family, but when they came to see me, they liked me. कि ठीक है, लड़का पागल है, सिटी बैंक छोड़ के आया है करके, but कुछ तो सोच के ही आया रहेगा. It was a big leap of faith on their part to marry off their daughter to me. And my friends, some of them are here. So Nishant is there. They created a chaos, and my in-laws, they were like stressed for 2 days. कि कहाँ शादी करा दी पता नहीं.
So after getting married, being in business is tough. No capital, new city. How did both of you manage? What was the thing? Because you can, if you keep on fighting there, you're never going to progress. So what was important to keep business focus as somebody who had no capital and in a new city?
So the biggest asset that I had that time was having a very, very matured life partner in my wife, and big credit goes to her. There used to be times, where the money was really less, and she used to cook every second or third day besan, badi, papad badi, and मैं बोला यार ये क्या चल रहा है. So I used to shout at her कि यार ये तू क्या कभी कभी सब्जी बना दिया कर जो फ्रेश आती है मार्केट में. So that time she never told me. अभी जाके मेरे को थोड़े दिन पहले उसने बताया कि बोले तो हरदम चिल्लाते रहता था ना कि सब्जी नहीं बनाते, सब्जी बड़ी महंगी आती है तो बजट बिगाड़ देती है. तो इसीलिए ये जो चीजें रहती है टिपिकली लड़कियों के घर से बन के आ जाती है तो पता ही नहीं चलता है. So that was the support which I got from her. And before marriage, I asked her one question: कि tomorrow, if tomorrow it happens that I lose everything and I go and live in a झोपड़ी, तो what will you do? मैंने ऐसे questions बना के रखे थे. तो situation में how evaluation criteria and all. तो her reply was very simple कि झोपड़ी में रखेगा या बंगले में रखेगा, मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, महल में रखेगा, तो अगर ठीक से रखेगा तो चलेगा. So that was the kind of support which I got. and which is actually a big part of where I'm today.
I'm done with my questions. There were two parts. The third part was just his contribution to society. But, I think in every person who's seeking change, it's your own ability to make decisions, but also the fact that your relationships with your wife and the understanding that also helps in ability to take the next step. And I think somebody also said that if Christopher Columbus was married, he would have never explored India because there were many other things. And it's true for the women who want to join work and aspire to, is to have a certain level of support out there. But that's what mentors do also. Girish, I'll let you, with your thoughts. I'm actually done with the Q&A. Share what you would like.
So I use this kind of pitch when I'm trying to motivate my employees. Do you know which is the best profession or best profession to be in? So I have to sell finance. So I'll start on that lines. मैं उनको ये बोलता हूँ कि कोई भी चीज दुनिया में जो बिकती या खरीदी जाती है उसमें पैसा इन्वॉल्व रहता है. If it cannot be measured by way of money, the transaction is very difficult to happen. So money is the second leg of every financial transaction. और जहाँ पर पैसा है वहाँ पर finance का business का scope है. So even if you are running a hospital, you are basically giving some services in exchange for money. So if you are a real estate developer, you're selling your flats, inventory, your commercial offices in exchange for money. So wherever there is money, there is finance. So that is the pervasiveness of finance. कि finance का काम कितना बड़ा है वो हमको इस चीज से समझ में आता है कि हर business जो है उसका दूसरा पहलू finance है. So that established कि the industry is the best industry to be in. Now what is the best geographical location or best country to be in at this point of the world history? Probably India. India का जो business है, we have domestic demand. You have 1/5 or 1/6 of world's population staying in India. You have a young population and you have a stable political government. So with all these factors established, India is really looking at a bright spot for the next 20 years. I genuinely feel कि अगर कभी इंडिया का टाइम है तो next 20-25 साल का है. Feel yourself fortunate that you are in the best part of India's history. Now we are going to explode. Everything is, falling in place. The foreign policy is there. India can stand up in international community and talk its mind. So that space is there. People are respecting India. The Indian talent has never been a problem. We have actually been running their companies for them. तो हम लोग अपने लिए तो कर ही सकते हैं. Right now is the best time to be in the best business, which is finance. So this is the pervasiveness, and इसके लिए finance में बोलता हूँ कि आपको सिर्फ mindset change करने की जरूरत है. आप लोग अभी finance के business में नहीं हो, पर आप लोग कल मॉर्निंग से finance के business में आ सकते हो. जो आप tax और जो compliance वाला काम करते हो, I am sorry, मेरे पास में भी चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स है जो लोग काम करते हैं. मेरे को लगता है कि हम लोगों ने उसके बीच में का डिस्टिंक्शन पहले क्लियर करना चाहिए. दैट इज कंप्लायंस. द वैल्यू दैट यू गेट फॉर कंप्लायंस एंड द वैल्यू विच यू गेट फॉर फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजरी इज डिफरेंट. यू वांट टू एस्पायर फॉर दैट वैल्यू एडिशन, बट यू डू नॉट वांट टू गेट दोस skill sets. You are not in the business of finance if you are doing compliance work, but come Monday morning you all can be in the business of finance. A small change in approach is go to your client and say कि सर मेरे को असाइनमेंट चाहिए, मैं आपका बिजनेस का प्रॉफिट बढ़ा के देना चाहता हूँ या मैं आपका सेल्स बढ़ाना चाहता हूँ. इतना क्वेश्चन आप पूछोगे उसका सर्विस हो जाएगा. उसको आपको देखने का नजरिया ही चेंज हो जाएगा. आप जाते हो और आप ये बोलोगे सर ये नहीं किया तो ये फाइलिंग लगेगा, ये पेनल्टी लगेगा. दैट्स नॉट म्यूजिक टू द ईयर्स. बट व्हेन यू गो एंड यू से कि आई वांट टू इंक्रीज योर रेवेन्यू, लेट मी सी व्हाट आई कैन डू, गिव मी असाइनमेंट फॉर नेक्स्ट 6 months, let me see how I can reduce your cost. So that becomes a finance assignment. So when you're helping businesses raise money, save interest cost, do various things जहां पर उसका पैसा बचे या पैसा बने, तो आप फाइनेंस के बिजनेस में आना चालू होते हो. और ये माइंडसेट धीरे धीरे वर्क करता है. आपको बिना एक्सपीरियंस के फाइनेंस नहीं आ सकता. बिकॉज जैसे डॉक्टर्स लोग होते हैं जो पहले पूरे इतने साल पढ़ाई करने के बाद में रूरल में काम करते हैं, फिर केसेस देखते हैं. सो दे ट्रीट लाइव केसेस टू लर्न दैट स्किल ऑफ बीइंग अ डॉक्टर. Similarly, for finance, you have to experience that phase where you have to be a problem solver for the businessman. And that's a journey which is traveled, typically you should get those opportunities, you should get those assignments, and you should be able to execute that. तो फिर आप फाइनेंस में आएंगे। तो मेरे को लगता है ये सब चीजें बहुत जरूरी है फाइनेंस के लिए। एंड आई काइंड ऑफ वी आर इन द क्रेडिट कम्युनिटी, तो हम लोग को डिसीजंस लेना पड़ता है कि भाई ये लोन देना चाहिए कि नहीं देना चाहिए वगैरह वगैरह। देयर आर वेरियस फैक्टर्स इन्वॉल्व इन इट। तो हम लोग टिपिकली जब असेसमेंट करते हैं तो कम्युनिटी वाइज भी थोड़ा बहुत बैकग्राउंड एक दिमाग में आ जाता है आपके। तो आई हैव ऑलवेज सीन दैट माहेश्वरी कम्युनिटी इज नेवर वन ऑफ द बोरोवर्स ऑफ माय फर्म। मैंने बोला लोग इतने स्मार्ट है ना, इजी नहीं है। एंड दे आर वेरी वेरी डिलीजेंट व्हेन इट कम्स टू नंबर्स। ओनली थिंग दैट वी आर मिसिंग राइट नाउ इज वी आर द बेस्ट CFOs। आप मेरे को जो भी ऑफिस में जाएंगे, आप दुबई में चले जाइए उनके फाइनेंस सिटी में, मोस्ट ऑफ द फैमिली ऑफिसेस दे आर रन बाय माहेश्वरीज। वी आर एट द बेस्ट पोजीशंस इन टर्म्स ऑफ CFOs. What I believe we are lacking is in terms of taking the deals, taking that risk. And उसके लिए we should create some kind of infrastructure which is kind of angel funding infrastructure, कि यहीं पे ही क्या कहते हैं हम लोग इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए एटलीस्ट उनको प्लेटफॉर्म तो दें, उनकी स्टोरीज तो सबको बताएं राइट टाइम पे। इफ यू गेट मेंटरिंग इन दैट, तो दैट इज वेरी गुड। आई बिलीव व्हाट वी कैन अदरवाइज लर्न, बिकॉज हम लोग कैसे करते हैं, आदत पड़ जाती है एक फाइनेंस का होने की वजह से, आप तुरंत कॉम्पिटिशन एनालिसिस करना चालू करते हो। तो आई फील वी शुड हैव अ डिटेल्ड बिजनेस स्टडी ऑफ बिजनेस मॉडल ऑफ जीतो। They are doing a fabulous job. Let's appreciate, where and learn from them what we can do, what they are doing. Because this organization has not started more than 5-6 years back. So how they are doing it, there should be a big business study. We should take their strength, build on our own strength, and then look for a different vision altogether. So that is something that we can do. दूसरा मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि हम लोग जब टारगेट्स भी हमारे लिए सेट कर रहे हैं, तो हम लोगों ने कितना किया नंबर्स, वो करके नहीं हमने बोलना चाहिए मार्केट कितना कैप्चर किया। हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट्स वर देयर फ्रॉम माहेश्वरी कम्युनिटी कमिंग टू पुणे फॉर स्टडीज, एंड हम लोगों ने कितने को अकोमोडेशन दिलाई। आई नो इट्स अ टफ जॉब, बट मैं बोलूंगा कि दैट वुड बी अ ट्रू रिप्रेजेंटेशन। हमको समझ में तो आना चालू करेगा कि मार्केट कितना बड़ा है और काम कितना करना बचा है। अगर हम लोग सिर्फ नंबर्स बोलते हैं तो वो आइसोलेटेड नंबर हो जाता है, उससे पिक्चर क्लियर नहीं होती है। लाइक आई एम फ्रॉम माहेश्वरी कम्युनिटी, आई केम टू पुणे। अगर मेरे को उस समय में कनेक्ट हो जाता तो मेरा कनेक्शन लेवल और रहता था। और अपने बच्चे टैलेंटेड है, आप उनको कहीं पे भी उठा के बात कर लीजिए, दे हैव क्लैरिटी ऑफ नंबर्स, दे हैव क्लैरिटी, यू कैन टॉक विजन विद देम। धंधा भी समझता है, अपॉर्चुनिटी दीजिए एंड मेक देम योर नेक्स्ट रेवेन्यू जनरेटर्स।